The SM-65 Atlas was the United States' first intercontinental ballistic missile. Derived from an earlier program, the design was approved in 1954. Accorded 1A top priority status, the United States Air Force directed that Atlas be given precedence over all other Air Force weapon programs, thus accelerating its planned development cycle from 10 to 5 years. The Atlas design was unique. With no structural trusses or rings to give strength to its body, it relied on pressurized fuel and oxygen tanks to provide the necessary rigidity. This innovative stage-and-a-half concept meant that the missile remained intact throughout its flight. Flight testing began in June 1957. 4 months later, in October, the Soviet Union launched the world's first artificial satellite, Sputnik, catching the United States by surprise. It was against the realistic probability of the Soviet Union launching a nuclear weapon instead of a satellite that intensified Atlas development. Early flights were marred by failure. 6 missiles blew up on the launch pad or were destroyed shortly after takeoff. Nevertheless, even these failures provided valuable data to improve subsequent designs. Atlas D was accepted by the Air Force, and as an emergency measure, placed on alert at Vandenberg Air Force Base in October 1959. Construction of Atlas launch facilities at F.E. Warren Air Force Base were completed in mid-1959, and the base was the first recipient of an air-transported Atlas missile on September 15th. General Thomas S. Power, Commander-in-Chief, Strategic Air Command, declared the 564th Strategic Missile Squadron operational on August 9, 1960. During its operational life, Atlas was deployed to 10 Air Force bases, spread over 13 states and 114 launch facilities. These complexes exemplified program development. Early Atlas sites were open launch pads with movable towers. However, these facilities exposed the missile to the elements, which could lead to system failure. Therefore, horizontal bays with retractable roofs were constructed. To launch, the roof was pulled back and the missile rose to vertical, then fueled and fired. These soft facilities offered safe haven from the weather, but little protection from attack. The final version of Atlas was stored vertically in hard silos buried in the ground. With a pair of 45-ton doors exposed to the elements, these silos completely protected the missile from weather and attack. Atlas had only a brief service life. It was taken off alert in 1965. Despite this, Atlas was a proving ground for many emerging technologies. More importantly, its development initiated the organization, policies, and procedures that paved the way for all subsequent intercontinental ballistic missile programs.